2, 3.
Ooh, I think that went well.
You always say that, and yet I'm the one editing, and I see that it hasn't.
Yeah, but I mean, it sounded good.
Sure. Yeah, welcome everyone to GameLusters. This is a podcast from GameLuster.com. If you're new here, what we do each week is just dive into a game or a franchise everyone loves and just kind of talk about where it came from. And so I know everything's horrible and serious right now. Don't look out the window. We're just inside. We're chilling right now. So I'm Nirav, and I'm going to be your host, and I'm joined as always by my lovely co-host Ree.
Hey.
And our special guest today is Josh from the Jarsh Zone. Is that where you say you're from?
Yeah, I inhabit the Jarsh Zone. I'm the only one here.
Okay, that's good to hear. I am now realizing I didn't pick anyone for the Hall of Fameluster, so I'm going to go last. While I think.
Oh no, I forgot.
Did you also forget?
Yeah, but I think I have something.
All right, Ree, you carry us for a minute.
Okay, I just want to make sure I've got the pronunciation of this correct before I go in. But wait, do you want to tell you what the Hall of Fame Luster actually is this week, and then I can bounce off that?
Yes. So this is supposed to be the best monster to turn into armor. I do want to qualify that in my mind, maybe we can change it, but I was thinking from any media, and also I think traditionally you're not going to gain the powers of this creature specifically. This is more aesthetic.
Oh, whoops.
So
mine was purely based on the powers, but I can make the aesthetic work. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, this is just a monster that you kill and you turn into armor and you wear it as a sense of pride and accomplishment.
Alright, I'm going to find a way to justify this then. So my pick was the Malboros from the Final Fantasy series. They're the weird tentacle horrible things that are 90% teeth.
That's a good aesthetic, yeah.
And I think that they're just the worst monsters to face. As soon as I see one, I'm borderline thinking of just you just want to run. You don't even want to bother because they're just the worst. So I would like to go around wearing the skin of one of them so they would all leave me alone and never try and fight me. And also you can brag that you've managed to beat one of them. So yeah, the Malboro, definitely.
Okay.
That's
nice.
That's good.
That's a good one. Okay, Josh, what do you have?
The only thing I could think of was Bowser.
Bowser?
I was also thinking of Bowser, yeah. I mean, it's too easy, yeah.
Because if you think about it, it's oh man, he's got spikes on his shell, and you could craft that into some really cool armor, so every time you dodge roll into somebody, you would just hurt him real bad.
The thing is, I bet without the shell, he's really unintimidating, so do you have to use the rest of him as well? Because he's just a small lizard boy.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm typing in Bowser without shell.
Yeah, Bowser. I like to think he's really skinny.
Just super intimidating.
He does look less intimidating, but
it doesn't sound pleasant.
Sorry, a lot of these images are pornographic in nature. I'm trying to find
I was gonna say you might be wandering into a minefield.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead. We're just gonna close this tab. Okay, so yeah, I've made my decision based on Ree's entry, and I'll find a picture here. This the monster that I am going to kill and wear is the from Final Fantasy 15, the Adamantoys.
Let's see
if
then.
you are not, I'll pop it in the chat here. If you're not familiar with it, it is the monster itself is a mountain that takes up about a fifth of the map.
That's a whole lot of armor.
Sort of famous for taking about 3 real life days to beat this creature.
Oh my god!
Well, you bloody one-upped me, didn't you? Christ.
Yeah. So this is the thing where you could show to the gamers and be like, oh no, I put in the fucking work for this one.
Yeah, don't mess with that guy.
I'm just trying to see how long it actually takes. It takes 72 real-time hours to take down this creature on average.
Oh my god.
Oh.
They finally beat Final Fantasy 12 then. That had an endgame boss that took 4 or 5 hours, I think.
Oh my god.
Apparently that's if you're pretty low leveled. I think it says if you're higher leveled, you can do it in an hour.
Oh, okay.
But
that's not so bad.
Yeah, it's level 99.
Oh my god.
All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's get the votes in here. Ree, where are your votes going?
Well, I've got to throw one to the monster mountain, haven't I? I mean, I can't ignore that. Literally can't ignore it because it is just a mountain.
It is just sort of part of the land features, yeah.
And otherwise, just Bowser, just because that's funny, and also it meant that you had to accidentally stumble across, like, Rule 34 Bowser. And I feel like we should preserve him in GameLuster history just for that.
Okay, interesting. Josh, you have 2 votes that you could distribute wherever you'd like, including your own. Where would you like him to go?
Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with Turtle Mountain Boy here too, because that is
Turtle
insane.
Mountain, baby.
Like, you can make so much armor out of that. Or just one really big armor that you just pilot like a mech.
In my mind, I have like, Control X the turtle part out of there, Control V me right into that shell.
I'll put my second vote in for the Final Fantasy tentacle monster, because those things are horrifying. I hate those things so much.
Is there any sort of a joke in Final Fantasy Tentacle, like this is like the sequel to Final Fantasy X?
Hey, that's a funny joke. I'm not sure there's a lot of potential with it though.
I guess
you
not.
Carry it for 40 hours.
All right. I'm gonna give one to the Shell Boy too, but I am gonna give one to the other Shell Boy as well. So I give one for Bowser, because Bowser was actually the one I was gonna use until you said it, and then I had to scramble.
That was a good scramble, though, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Very good scramble.
Love scrambling. All right. Well, welcome. You know what? Here, Rhea, I have a proposition for you. I know we were just talking about moving the Hall of Fameluster.
We were.
Interestingly enough, I think we might have enough room right here on the Adamantoys.
That's a very, very good point. And if anyone tries to nick stuff from us, then they're going to have to spend 72 real hours to defeat him before they can take any of our entries.
And it gives me plenty of time to saunter over there and stop them.
Exactly. So this is better than the moon, and maybe less people will die. That would also be a bonus.
I mean, not no people, but less people.
Yeah.
Sure. So, Josh, I don't know, have you listened to any of our previous episodes?
I have a bit. Weren't you guys on the moon at one point?
Yeah, we've been
on the moon for a long time.
We've overstayed our welcome there.
We have. Elon Musk is not happy with what we've done with the property. So yeah, we're let's go ahead and relocate back down here to Earth on the back of this big turtle. This is turtles all the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. You look down, there's another turtle. I mean, also since we're on Final Fantasy Turtles, I want to give a shout out to the Tonberries, who are my favorite monster in maybe anything.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Oh god.
You know those guys? They're like a fucking little turtle standing on 2 legs with like a wizard robe and like a kitchen knife and a lantern.
I hate those things. Oh, the instant kill dudes. Oh, not a fan.
Like fucking near the end of 15, I think I saw them for the first time, because that was the first Final Fantasy game I played, and like, man, I fucking started crying right there. Just dropped the controller.
Yeah, they're the reason why. Cause if you play the PS4 version of Final Fantasy VII, you can activate God mode by pressing down on one of the triggers, and they're the reason why I actually gave in and activated God mode. I just so many hours into trying to defeat the final disc, and I was just like, I can't anymore. I can't. I'll be fine, and then I'll get to one of them, and I'll just be instant killed, and it's not fun. So I had to really, really badly cheat on Final Fantasy VII to beat it, because of these guys.
Okay, maybe they're not welcome inside.
They're not. No.
All right, let's get out of here. So, welcome everybody to Bustums. This is actually, I think, a record for us getting to the main part of the show. Like less than 9 minutes in. Are you kidding?
Nice.
Yeah, it usually takes like 25 minutes to get here.
That's still quickly.
So yeah,
it's going too well.
We are, as you may have been able to guess, talking about Monster Hunter today, the acclaimed Capcom series. So I think I'm not alone in saying, like, what's everyone on about, huh?
Yeah.
I think Ree might have said that at some point.
I think I have.
What's everyone on about then? In it, bruv.
God save the Queen in it. That was the full sentence, don't forget the rest.
What's it about then? Swear on me, Nan.
I regret teaching you British slang.
Yeah, I was so excited. So, Josh, I want you to just, I guess, as a fan, quickly just, walk me through what exactly is Monster Hunter about, just in a broad sense.
Yeah, Monster Hunter is a long running franchise in which you are a monster hunter, and
Whoa,
the basic
slow down.
Yeah, we're getting into some deep spoiler stuff here. There's the main gameplay loop consists of taking on quests through your village, hunting big scary monsters, usually because they're a threat to the ecosystem. At least I think that's the excuse sometimes, to make it not just seem like an animal murder simulator. And there are also kind of cooldown quests, like gathering herbs, gathering like wildlife materials and stuff, and that's pretty much it. It's a huge grind, which is something that a lot of people are very much into. I think that's the crux of it. You definitely you grind, you craft new armor and weapons from the monsters that you defeat. Sometimes you have to defeat them more than once to get certain materials to craft like full armor sets and upgrade your weapons and stuff. And you just kind of repeat ad nauseum. It's super fun with friends. Not too bad solo these days. It used to not be so fun solo, but I think with World, they kind of put a little bit more emphasis on like, hey, it's okay to play this alone sometimes. It's not too bad.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so we're gonna kind of first go through like the history and development of this, and then kind of talk about like the game itself. So, interestingly, I saw that this is a Capcom affair, by the way, and you may know that until Resident Evil 1, Capcom had very, very little success selling games in the West. Mm-hmm. They historically had a huge problem with it, never really breaking more than like, even a few thousand. Resident Evil 1 changed that pretty dramatically. They sold over 1 million copies just in the Western Hemisphere, and that was huge for them. And again, we did our Resident Evil episode earlier, but that was largely due to it being a tribute to American horror movies, right? I think it resonated with people here because it was like kind of the campy horror movie that people were into at that time.
Yeah, they had to go really over the top pandering with that one.
Yeah, the Jill sandwich and all that.
The live action stuff at the beginning.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
That's what sold it, hands down.
Yeah. And so after that, Capcom apparently sat down and were like, all right, we have to move more units in the West. Like, it's not really sustainable to just service Japan anymore. And so I wish they had told Nintendo about this. But anyway, they were like, we're going to produce 3 games, in a row, and we need one of them is going to break 1 million units in the West, not counting Japanese sales. And they were like, they told basically all their studios, like, hey, all of you, like, come to the board with like a pitch for a thing that you think is going to sell, you're going to move 1 million units in the West. And based on that, they came up with, what's his name? Sugimoto. Mr. Sugimoto came up with the idea for Monster Hunter. Just the simple, like you said, very simple cycle of hunting monsters, gathering the materials from them, going back to your base, building better armor and weapons with which to kill bigger monsters. And that's kind of the long and short of it.
Yeah.
Have you touched the first Monster Hunter at all? It was 2005 on the PlayStation 2, it looks like.
Yeah, retroactively. After, once I got a good enough PC to emulate and stuff especially, I was like, man, I've always been kind of curious to see where this series started, and it's a weird one. If I recall correctly, I think like a lot of your attacks are done with the right stick as well, and which isn't terrible once you get used to it. But I also think there were a lot of event quests that were online only. Like, I think there's like a legendary monster you just can't hunt anymore because it was online only. And I think it was part of some initiative like, oh, hey, the PlayStation 2 has online play. We should really take advantage of that. And that's where, like, I think like Resident Evil Outbreak, and I think the Devil May Cry director, Itsuno, did like a racing game that also took advantage of it. So, and I think Monster Hunter was the like kind of surprise breakout there.
Yeah. Resident Evil Outbreak was one of the other games that they were like, we need to sell 1 million of these in the West. That was one of the other ones that was brought up and offered. So yeah, I don't know if you knew this. I sure didn't. The PlayStation 2 did have online.
See, I was vaguely aware of that, and I don't think I ever owned a game for the PS2, despite spending hundreds of goddamn hours as a kid on the PS2. I don't think I ever used it. Like, what games had it?
I don't think many games had online play.
Yeah, I remember a couple of the SOCOM games, if you guys remember that series.
God,
and I distinctly remember back when X-Play was a show, they did like a review of Final Fantasy XI, and they mostly were just talking about how much of a task it was setting up the online for the PS2 version of it, and it was like 6 hours of like downloading things and setting up, and it was just like, I don't want to play that if it takes that long.
Josh, by the way, I want to commend you. I did look in. Yes, the other piece of their Capcom trifecta was indeed Auto Modelista, which was created by the Devil May Cry creator.
Yeah, it's like a cel-shaded game. I always wanted to play it.
Wow, you came here prepared.
Yeah, I think I did like a little bit of research, and then
that's disgusting. I think you might be the second person ever to have done any research before, like coming on the show.
I get nervous. And I'm like, I need to prepare.
It's off-putting.
I wish I had that drive. I like Googled Monster Hunter when I was like coming back from my mum's ready to do the podcast, and the first thing that comes up when you do that is that bloody film that came out. It came out last year, didn't it? It's saying here release date 2021. I'm guessing that's the release over here.
I think it came out in China earlier. I want to say like in November.
Oh, then it got banned, didn't it? It got banned in China.
It did. It got removed from theaters because they made a racist joke about Chinese people, the specific audience they were trying to cater to.
Imagine having one audience to cater to, and you make a racist joke about them. That is, how does that happen?
I loved when the Monster Hunter looked directly into the camera and said, "I don't care very much for the people from this particular part of the world."
Oh, no.
I think they should make it equal, and in the American release, they should make like an anti-American joke just for equality's sake, so they can get back in China.
I don't know, like it's hard to do that because like with China it was like a racist thing, but like there's not like a way to be like racist against Americans, you know? It's like a cultural snub, sure.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
that's not really the equivalent, is that? No.
No, I mean like maybe something like, oh, you guys aren't very good at distributing healthcare to people who need it.
Ooh,
and you know, we're like, yeah, you're
Big
right.
Scary Dragon told me that. I'd go, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. The Elder Dragon told me. Yeah. So yeah, of this trifecta of Auto Modelista, Resident Evil Outbreak, and Monster Hunter, Monster Hunter was the winner. It was able to sell over 1 million copies. Unfortunately, did not make it that big outside of Japan. But you know, we carry on. They saw some you know, promise in this series though, and Capcom wanted to continue it. So the next thing they did basically was to they had the idea to like move it to portable basically from there. So oh gosh, I'm trying to remember, when did the PSP come out? Was that like before the PS3? I think so, right?
I think so. Maybe 2004 or 5.
Yeah, was it 2005 it came out?
Here.
Yeah, that sounds...
PSP... Yeah, oh yeah, it did. Wow,
nice.
A good bit before. So, yeah, March 24th, 2005, released... Okay. Yeah, so they kind of were looking at the PSP and were like, I think the way to expand this game, to make it bigger, to increase that reach, is to make it portable. And so, Monster Hunter... Well, I mean, like, in Japan, this worked. And so, this is one of the kind of main things that I wanted to, like, talk about, was that like when Monster Hunter moved to portable, it like exploded in Japan. People like were so psyched about this because I think like I don't know, I was reading here like, so this was basically supported up to 4 players over local wireless from the PSP. And what would happen was that like handheld systems are obviously way more popular in Japan, right?
Yeah.
But also due to like the country has like, you know, really high population density, way more people living in like high density apartments in the cities and stuff. People are always really near each other, so it's like pretty easy to find people to hunt with, you know? And it kind of exploded in that way. And it's I think Asia is a little bit like odd in that regard because of course like mobile gaming is like huge there, like not even just like on mobile phones, but like the Switch Lite did amazingly well over there, and the 3DS, PSP, even the PS Vita sold enough copies in Japan of it.
I'm glad it did well somewhere. It deserves it.
And nowhere else.
Yeah.
It deserves
well, like,
success.
yeah.
So does the PSP. I enjoyed the PSP.
I had a PSP. I don't know if I used it right because the only game I had for it was Daxter.
Yeah.
I had never played Jak and Daxter before though, so I was like, "Who's this little fuck?"
That's where my Monster Hunter journey kind of began. It was
okay.
Freedom Unite. That was the one that kind of became a cult classic in the West.
Okay. Yeah, but really what I did with it was that my friend who was like a little bit better with computers back then, like installed an emulator onto the PSP and just put the original Spyro trilogy on, which I had requested, and that was just like literally the only thing I ever used the PSP for was playing Spyro 2 and 3 just over and over again.
They embraced that with the Vita. They were like, oh, people just want to play old games on here. And that was good. But with the PSP, I say I liked it, but the only game I owned on it was Crash Tag Team Racing. And as the one fan of that game, I had a blast playing that with its bloody 10-minute loading screens. Maybe the PSP isn't as good as I remember. I was 6 years old when it came out, so that probably describes why I thought it was good.
So I want everyone to know that they did re-release the first game, Monster Hunter, as on the PSP on newer systems as Monster Hunter G. Just added the letter G to the end.
Why G?
Yeah, Monster Hunter G.
It's like the least cool letter.
I don't know if they ever
that's
even explained it.
There was no one asked for an explanation, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but so then they moved on to, let's see, Monster Hunter Portable Third, which was not a good name. I think in the West that was changed to Monster Hunter Tri. TRI, not like try.
I was about to say,
harder, Monster Hunter.
Just try and play this game, please.
Just try it. It's okay. Yeah, so like I said, it started off really huge in Japan, but like they just like could not get like a fucking foothold in the West. Like for some reason, everything they tried on the PSP, and then of course it went to the 3DS and stuff after that. And like to the point, I think Monster Hunter Generation. Let me see, was it Monster Hunter 4? Monster Hunter 4 was only on the 3DS.
Yeah.
And that was like a big commercial flop in the West again. Like it sold great in Japan though, is the thing. And like these games keep selling great in Japan. And like this happens in China, Korea, India, pretty much all over Asia. Like people ultimately prefer to be like mobile. They don't want to sit at home and play a video game, or / they're not able to. And I don't know if you guys have any thoughts as to why that might be. I mean, it's a recurring phenomenon we see all the time, but like home consoles are just like so unpopular in Asia.
I didn't actually know that. I knew that portable consoles did really well, which I guess makes sense, like you said.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know about home consoles. Because I guess like population density is a thing, but then also where I live there's a lot of population density, and I don't see anyone using a Switch out in the open.
Yeah, like I've been over there to London, and
wow.
I've been over to the suburbs there, and everyone's just very in small. It's like tall, skinny houses.
Yeah.
Kind of just crammed together.
I live in one of them. It's not nice. It's
sure.
It's yeah, so you have like hundreds of families living in like a very small area, and yet still no one is brave enough to take their Switch out and play it with people, or even
Jesus.
I mean DS's kind of, but like even then not really. Maybe it's like I think it's a coolness thing. Is it just cooler in Asia? Is it less embarrassing to go out with a PS Vita?
I think it's probably
could be partially that. Or like I was thinking of like the transit systems in Japan too. There's just a lot of like riding subways and stuff. So it's like, oh, just bust out the old PSP and hunt monsters.
I think, yeah, no, I think you're definitely right. Like just like pulling out a game system and play on your like 20-minute train commute or whatever makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, of course, like the Switch is taken off so much over there. Like, it's also, I think the first, I think the Switch is the first home console in a while to be sold in China. Because there's like a Chinese law, I don't know if you know this, that like any product sold in China has to be sold by a Chinese company. So,
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Nintendo actually formed like a kind of a partnership with Tencent, and they actually sell Switches to Tencent, and Tencent sells Switches to retail
I didn't know that's how
establishments.
they did it. That makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's kind of why like PlayStation and Xbox don't like exist in China, really. I think that they're available to get at this point, but like it's been so long like that nobody just nobody cares anymore. It's kind of a strange market over there. Like people also prefer to not own gaming systems there. Like people prefer to go to internet cafes and play on gaming PCs in these cafes for a few hours and just pay for renting the space and time.
Okay.
And I mean that's kind of just what it is. People don't really want to have a big, 9-foot tall PlayStation 5 sitting in their living room like I do.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't know, but like people have also theorized, like you said, Ree, it's because there's like a lot less space over there, which there is. Like homes are way smaller on average, but I think also in the UK people are pretty crammed together, and they seem to be buying up PlayStations so they can play FIFA with the lads.
Maybe we're just less intelligent. Like we're like, oh, got no room in the living room. Oh well, gonna get an Xbox Series X. Can barely fit my fridge in here, but let's buy this fridge. It's yeah. Our home's just
crack
messy.
open a cold one with the boys and with the lads. Sorry, excuse me.
Exactly.
Yeah. So basically, this Capcom was really finding this to be a problem. They're really their only series that was making waves in the West at all was Resident Evil at this point. Like pretty much everything else they were putting out was getting ignored, largely by Western audiences. Even hits like critically acclaimed hits like Mega Man and God, what was I thinking of? Like Devil May Cry stuff. Those games were reviewing extremely well, but they were never selling many copies. So they were finally like, okay, fine, and they all just sat in a big conference room, and just one guy is like, "We got to do consoles. I'm sorry, everyone, we failed. We failed the handheld market." But yeah, they decided that, okay, our next game is going to be like PC and consoles, Xbox One, PS4. This game is going to do good. This is a good game, but nobody wants it in the West because it's handheld only. So we're just going to move this idea to PCs and consoles and just spruce it up a little. So they also were interested in kind of flattening the learning curve in World. So I was going to ask Josh, I don't know if you can speak to that a little bit, having looked at the older ones. Does World have like kind of like an easier like get in like easier to learn, hard to master situation going on?
I'd say so, yeah. Sadly, World is the one I have kind of a little bit less experience with. I do have a friend who put over like 300 hours in it, but and that was his first real crack with the series because he'd kind of bounced off of it previously, but he was like enamored with World because it's just like, I think this was the first one where they kind of eliminated the loading screens between map zones, so now it's just one huge seamless map you can explore. The overall just quality of life stuff, like being able to track the monsters, like you can like track their paths now instead of just kind of like, well, I think he might be in this zone, so I think I'll just hope that he's there. So
that sounds kind of miserable. Like he sounds like he might be in this corner, so I'll walk a little.
Yeah, that was kind of my that's kind of why I bounced off a bit too. And even Rise, like the first few monster hunts I've done, they've just been on the map. Like you can see exactly where they are, and it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll just go there, like get started. And like I honestly prefer that. And I think like World really kind of started the trend of like, we need to get a wider audience involved in this, but also still make it enticing for like hardcore players.
Yeah. So this game is one of those that you could literally just grind your way up, I think forever, right? Is what I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah, even after like the quote unquote main story, after all that, there's like the high rank quests, and that's not even counting Iceborne, which I think adds dozens of hours of content. You can pretty much keep going, and I think they did a lot of like online events and stuff. I know you could get like Dante's outfit from Devil May Cry at one point. They did like a Resident Evil 2 crossover. I think they did a Final Fantasy 1 too.
Yeah, it's weird because like this franchise has like consistently been, I think, critically acclaimed pretty much all over the world, but it's I feel like I don't know about you, Ree, like I had not heard of this franchise until the 3DS one, Monster Hunter 4.
Yeah, same here.
I think that one actually broke out pretty well, and that one actually was the first to sell 1 million copies just in the West, like not counting Japanese sales. Which was, pretty big for them. Still not like quite what they wanted, but like, it's a step up. Like we're moving in the right direction. And also Monster Hunter 4 was the first one they actually localized, I believe, like rather than just kind of doing a copy paste sort of translation for it.
I think they've definitely got a bit of a brand recognition issue because but as someone who doesn't like super, super closely follow it, in my mind, I think of it as quite like a modern franchise. Like I said, it only really came on the radar for me with the 3DS version. I was not aware of its like super extensive history, especially on the PlayStation 2. So, yeah.
Yeah, using the lucrative online of the PlayStation 2.
So I'm guessing there was just a bit of an issue maybe with the advertising. They didn't see it as like worthwhile to sort of get it in people's heads. This is a franchise that exists until fairly recently.
Yeah, and like, because I remember like the PSP version kind of like trying that and thinking like, oh, this is kind of a neat idea, but it's definitely a niche game.
Yeah.
And I think they tried to really push Monster Hunter. Well, Monster Hunter Tribe would become Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate on the 3DS and Wii U. And I think the fact that it was on Wii U made people go, oh, whoa, this is cool. But, like 10 people owned a Wii U, so that didn't pan out. I was one of those 10.
Opening up your Wii U and seeing that a game was available for it was like Christmas.
Yeah, it's like, oh, a game. It's been years.
Like, we had Nintendo World.
You had a Wii U, right, Ree?
Yeah, we had that.
Yeah, I had one too.
We're elite.
Let's do a dust check on ours. After this is done, let's see how much dust is gathering on that gamepad. I'm gonna wager
I donated mine to a children's hospital a few months ago because I realized it was literally just gathering dust. And I was like, somebody's going to enjoy this better than me.
See, I would do that.
Although,
but my brother does very, very occasionally get an urge to play Smash Bros. For Wii U. So for that, and Pikmin 3. So because of that,
Pikmin, both of those are on Switch.
Yeah,
so
he doesn't want to rebuy it. It was just fair. So now and then
whatever.
He gets the urge and he dusts it off for it's like yearly dusting at this point and plays
yearly dusting. I remember when I went to give my Wii U to them, I was thinking in my head like, oh man, the kids are gonna love doing the Mario stuff or whatever, right? And then I realized the only like physical, after I wiped the drive, and gave it to them, I realized the only physical game I had was Xenoblade Chronicles X, and I was like, the kids are gonna love it.
They're gonna love that grind.
They're gonna love the grind. They're gonna love the mech suits that you get after 35 hours.
Oh god.
Basically Monster Hunter World was like just a gigantic hit. Like it is, yes, the series and Capcom's best-selling game. Hit about 16 million units sold, which is pretty crazy for this series because they were barely breaking 1 million on some of these, and suddenly we're at 16 million sales. It's crazy, really, what just being on the right system at the right time will do for you. Because like, I mean, even if this game was exactly the same but released for like the PS Vita or some shit, like would have maybe sold 1 million copies again. And also PlayStation getting really heavy into the marketing for it. Like, I remember that Sony marketed this as one of like the tentpole like titles for the PS4. They made it like the centerpiece of their E3 show too, the year before it came out.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, which was kind of crazy, like seeing, because a lot of people were like, I don't know what, quite frankly, most people watching that like didn't know what Monster Hunter was and had never heard of it.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if it's because of like the rise of like games as a service too, kind of helped it. It was just like, hey, here's another like ongoing thing you can put like hundreds of hours into if you want.
Yeah, it's a grinding online thing. I mean, like that's people love that shit. Like, quite honestly, I mean, I don't. Everything I know about Monster Hunter World, I've learned in the last, I think, hour and a half now. Because my friend, like I mentioned, my friend is playing it right now in this room, and I'm watching it on the TV next to me. So I'm sort of absorbing it through osmosis right now. I do like the cat people.
Oh, Palicos.
Palicos, yeah. I like that. It also is like a really gorgeous game. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that drew people in. It wasn't as jagged looking as kind of the older games.
Yeah, like, and I mean and then we tried out the Rise demo this morning, and that seems to have gone back to its jagged brown roots a little bit.
Just a bit, yeah. I'm about 5 or 6 hours in now. I kind of put in the time just because I was like, I knew I was going to be here recording this, so I was like, I should play Rise a little bit, see if I can bring any input in. And yeah, you're in like a foresty area for a good chunk of it, but it's starting to switch up a little bit. But they definitely made some scale back kind of
right. I mean, to run on the Switch, sure, like it's
the fact that they sorry.
Oh no, yeah, I was just saying, like, I think the so we also know, by the way, that like it looks like Nintendo has paid for a year of exclusivity on this game.
Yes.
And it is coming to PC in March 2021 or 2022. Sorry. So yeah, I'm interested, like, if people are gonna go in for the Switch one because they're so excited coming off of World, or they're gonna wait to see if it comes out on PS5 Series X. I don't know. Ree, where are you at on this? Where are you getting Monster Hunter Rise?
I still have to be convinced to get Monster Hunter Rise, I think. I don't know. I've never followed the thing before. I'm interested in that. I'm guessing it's just one of those games that, like, you don't do a full playthrough of. You sort of just come back to when you do want to do a grind. Am I accurate in saying that?
Yeah, that's kind of how I treat it, at least. I know some people who get, like I said, my friend who has, like, the 300 hours into it, he pretty much blacked out for like a month, I think. And but for me, I love just kind of hopping in, doing a couple quests, maybe do some of the smaller, like, hunt 10 of these small animals kind of thing, and then do like one big monster quest before putting it away for the day. But like it's kind of cozy that way.
Yeah, I think I sort of want another game like that, and I might actually just get it on Switch, to be honest. I'm just one of those people that's like, if it's on Switch, I get it on Switch. I don't even know why my Joy-Cons don't even work. I don't know why I keep doing this, but
I do that too. I just like the portability of it, even though I don't go anywhere. It's just like, well, exactly. I can have this right up in my face now.
It's like just in case I do leave the house at some point and want to play it on broken Joy-Cons, I have that option. It's all about versatility.
That's true.
Rise demo's still out, right? Like, I think
the demo's still out. Yeah, cool. I just downloaded it this morning, so.
Yeah, if anything, try the demo first and go from there. See if it's I think they give you a couple quests to mess around in.
Okay.
This is sorry, I was just on the Steam page for Monster Hunter World. Top review, not recommended, 7,261 hours.
Oh my god.
Now, it says that, I think there's a real reason for this, is apparently they have, with no explanation, remapped and locked all of the controls and key bindings in this game. And so, like, you can't play it if you're left-handed anymore.
Oh.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, like, what a weird thing to do after it's come out already.
Yeah.
That is like a slap in the face to accessibility too. Like,
yeah, wow. This one, Absolute Dribble, feels cheap and nasty and rushed, controls horrendous. Okay.
That's another thing. It's a very deliberate game series. Like, I think some people look at the high level gameplay and they think like, oh my god, I can do that like immediately, like Devil May Cry. But it's a very methodical, like almost clunky for like to a fault. But
sure.
It's very satisfying once you kind of get locked into that mindset. But I think I've had to rewire my brain every time I've like jumped into one of these games.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, since you've dipped into Rise, like, what are your thoughts on it so far? From what I can see, I mean, like, it seems like you ride the dog to monster, and then you kill monster, you take it back, and you make more armor for dog.
Yeah, you can put armor on your dog now. It's awesome. Or I think they're called Palamutes, which is also adorable.
Palamutes, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's probably too early to say, but I think this one might be my favorite so far. It's definitely like definitely I think I played 3 hours straight last night. And I don't do that with any games. I don't think I've done that since like Breath of the Wild, and like I really the loop is pretty intoxicating, and like I said, those aforementioned accessibility or I guess quality of life features, like being able to track the monsters easier, and the fact that you can ride the Palamute and you can go fast without like having to drain your stamina and stuff like that. That's just so nice. I think it just makes things a lot more kinetic, and like it gets you to the fun faster.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that a lot of games are realizing in the last few years, is that like there's a lot of gameplay elements, I think, for games that were developed back when series began because of hardware constraints.
Yeah.
And I think people just kind of relegated it to like, oh, this is just a feature of this game, this genre, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and really, the thing is, you got to figure out what is the fun part of your game, and how do I get players to that part the fastest?
Yeah.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Like, which I think like was a lot of what inspired like Breath of the Wild, for instance, to break away from everything that we knew about Zelda. Like, you know, the with the base question of just like what makes Zelda fun, is just the sense of adventure, and like build on it from there. Like, so yeah, I like this. I like this a lot, that they're kind of streamlining it to, you know, like I still remember, I think we talked about this when like people were talking about like Hades not being really a roguelike because it doesn't make you sad.
Because it's good.
Because it's fun.
I enjoy playing this game, therefore it's not this genre that has loads
there was
of
like a
stupid
legitimate
things that it shouldn't have, and just has because
there was like a legitimate post somebody made on Reddit with some support, mostly not support, like that Hades is not a real roguelike because it is fun, and like roguelikes cannot be fun because you have to earn this game.
Oh
you
my
have to
God.
you have to bleed and sweat through it to
hate
be able to
that
say that
mindset.
you played it.
It's the Nintendo philosophy of like, if it's not fun, what's the point? Make your games fun.
Reggie had it right. I don't get that either. Like, even like I like some of the more brutally unforgiving roguelikes and stuff. Like, I love Spelunky, but like those are still like, I don't know, like I like the way Hades kind of rewards you even in failure and stuff. Like,
that's good.
Man, you want to keep
I
people
fail
playing.
all the time. I like being rewarded for it.
Yeah, I don't like walking away like, man, I just wasted my time on this.
Yeah, exactly.
So I wanted to ask you, I don't actually know this. This is a real question. Is there like a story in these games?
Kind of. It kind of varies from game to game. Like, I think Rise so far, it's like, it kind of started out with like, oh, our trade route's blocked off by this like monster, go kill it.
Big boat,
yeah, it's the Suez Canal, and you have to go. But
you have to go fight it, and use its parts to make another boat.
Yeah, and I think World had like a big overarching thing with like I can't remember the name of it's like big elder dragon. I think Nergigante, I think. I might be wrong on that.
Know.
Yeah, it's
Elder Dragon.
Yeah, there's like an overarching kind of plot in a lot of them, but they're just set dressing free to go do the hunt.
Sure. It's all about the hunt.
Yeah, and if you got lads, like, it's even more fun.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna ask about the lads. So like, have the more memorable moments in this game series for you been like just playing with friends online?
Yeah, absolutely. I did. In the like 30 or 40 hours I put into World, which is like spare change compared to some other people, but I think I did about 80% of it with a couple friends, and it's just a lot more fun, especially if you're repeating quests to get certain like pieces for your armor set up, and then you can just like jump in with people. And I think World introduced the flare gun, so if you're going solo and you're really stuck on a difficult fight, you can like shoot a flare gun, and anybody who I think they have to like set up for it, basically it just summons in random players and they'll like help you out. And I think Rise has something similar too, but I don't think I've gotten that far yet.
Okay. I've heard that like this game kind of feels like almost like the grind is equivalent to that, kind of like an MMO, like if you wanted to do that offline or just like co-op basically.
Yeah.
Is that kind of...
Yeah, and it does lend itself well to like replaying quests and stuff, especially if you're like way far ahead of your friends. You can just be like, oh, I'll jump in with you and I'll help you with these like whatever you're stuck
Do
on.
a raid on this dinosaur.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, so would you recommend this for people to do single player, do you think, or no?
I think with World and Rise especially, like, try it solo and just see how you feel, like how you lock into it, and like also never be afraid to just experiment with every weapon. I feel like every single weapon will like fundamentally change how you view the series. And it just depends on how you like to play. Like you can get like the dual blades if you just want to go fast and go crazy. Or you can wield like great swords or hammers if you just want to like do big damage, but you're going to be really slow. And I usually switch it up depending on if I'm alone or with friends. I like kind of the bigger methodical weapons if I have other people with me.
Sure. That kind of makes sense. I don't know. Ari, you have any questions or anything?
No, not really. I'm interested to hear that it's more just like the story's just an excuse to get to the gameplay. I'm guessing that's because they didn't want to like to make it appeal to the West. They didn't want to like bog it down with lore, I guess.
yeah.
Make it
I feel like,
maybe.
And I could be doing a disservice. Maybe there's probably some like Monster Hunter historians that would be like, "Hey, you're wrong. The story in this is really deep."
Actually, there's even more lore present
like,
in World than the previous titles.
There were more cutscenes, that's for sure. They really wanted to flex that budget, and like even the
like,
cutscenes
it looks good.
Yeah, they're beautiful, and like it's like I see the plot playing out, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. Please let me go kill now.
Yeah. So have you played any of the spin-offs? Because there's like a lot of weird ones.
There's so
in
many.
Here.
There's the Monster Hunter Stories games. There's
we have Monster Hunter Diary, Poka Poka Iru Village.
Oh yeah, I don't know if that one ever.
That only released in Japan.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter Dynamic Hunting, also released.
iOS. Oh, that had a worldwide release. Oh, it was a fighting spin-off. I don't think I ever got to play that one.
Monster Hunter Spirits, Monster Hunter Explore.
I did play Generations Ultimate on the Switch.
Yeah, that was the Switch one.
That feels like a kind of greatest hits of the classic Monster Hunter formula. It's just like,
okay,
that is some of the most bonkers amount of content I've ever seen in a video game, because I think Ultimate just threw everything in there, and I think like nearly every monster up to that point that's ever been in the series. So many like online exclusive quests that you can just play offline now. Like it was nuts. Like I don't think I scratched the surface on that one, barely.
There's also one called Monster Hunter Riders, which I was imagining just Sonic Riders Squid Swap again. Just get some of those dinosaurs on those airboards, send them down.
I would play that in a heartbeat.
It turns out it is a turn-based RPG, unfortunately.
On mobile.
On mobile only, yeah. I am kind of interested in stories just because I like the art style a lot, especially the stories too, what it looks like.
Yeah, it looked really cute. And it's got like...
supposed to come out this July, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's supposed to have some crossover content with Rise, so that'll be fun to see.
Yeah, I might dip into that one honestly more. I think just it looks like more of a cute Pokemon sort of collect little monsters guys.
Yeah, I'm really interested in that too. I never got to play the first one, though. I know you can get the first one on iOS now. It was a 3DS game, but
yeah, it was on 3DS, and I did check it out out of curiosity. It still is $40 on the 3DS.
Oh wow.
Because so really good. But actually here, there's the sales charts right there. So yeah, Monster Hunter World sold the most, 16.8 million units. And hey, hold on a second, this is cool. Iceborne sold 7.2 million, which is about half of that. So wow, about half people who bought the game liked it enough to buy the like $30 expansion for it.
Oh.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, the rest of these did okay, but yeah, interesting. So I was gonna ask about the movie. I think we've talked a little bit about that. Did anyone watch it, or are we just talking about like what we've heard about it?
Yeah, I haven't seen it, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I don't know. I heard it was really bad. I know that director has a reputation for not so good video game adaptations.
Yeah, well, it's weird because he did like the shitty Resident Evil movies, and then Capcom was like, "Yeah, do it with Monster Hunter."
Those made some money.
That's the same.
I think some of the Resident Evil movies made like commercial success at least, even if they weren't critically popular, right? But
so
I don't know.
I think from my instinct, I'm just looking up now. He is the same guy that did the Mortal Kombat film. Which I'm a massive fan of. I think the original Mortal Kombat film in the 90s is just phenomenal, cheesy, bloody goodness. And
I like that one a lot too.
I would unironically sit down and watch it. It's not even like the Room level sort of ironic watch. It's like I could sit down and have a fun time with that. And then every video game adaptation afterwards is just like a slog, which doesn't really appeal to the fans, doesn't really appeal to a general audience. And it looks like, because I get obsessed with bad movies. What I've seen about the Monster Hunter one, it's his magnum opus in the sense that it's like all of his traits put into one film. Very bogged down, very boring, not exciting to anyone, not exciting to the people who don't like the franchise, not exciting to people that do like it. Mila Djokovic is there. It's got all the traits of one of his films, and I can't wait to see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch it now. I'm morbid curiosity now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oof. Okay. So are there enough ghosts in this game?
Enough what?
Ghosts?
I am unaware, actually.
You can't think of any ghosts in this game?
In my experience, no. I don't think so.
Okay, so I guess the answer is we need more ghosts. Then.
We always need more ghosts.
All right, that sounds good. Let's get some ghost dinosaurs in there.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
I would be down for that. All right, let's go into time for games. So today we're playing Who's That Monster? What I've done here is I have taken the like either like whatever it's called, like the in-game I don't know, like bestiary entry or whatever describing a monster from Monster Hunter, or a Pokédex entry for a Pokemon. I've just to be very upfront, I have removed any words that might indicate like if this is Pokemon or Monster Hunter related, like from the Dex entry. But so I'm gonna read these Dex entries, and I need you guys to tell me: is this a Monster Hunter monster, or is this a Pocket monster?
Oh, this is gonna go really poorly. I can't wait.
It'll be amazing.
I think so.
Let's go.
All right. They boast a spongy purple mane that can both store and disperse a powerful toxin. Moistening this mane seems to revitalize it, so it prefers to reside in watery areas.
Monster Hunter?
Only a Pokemon.
If you think you know which one it is, and you want to toss out a guess as to like what actual one it is, you can do that too.
Oh, I'm real bad with Monster Hunter names. I remember like Jagras and Rathalos, and the Rathalos is like the Mario of the franchise.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's not Rathalos, but it is a Monster Hunter. It's a purple Lawdroth. It says.
I'll have to look up a picture of that real quick.
Don't know him. All right, how about this one? When its life comes to an end, it absorbs the life energy of every living thing around it and turns into a cocoon once more.
That's a bit OP for a Pokemon, I'd say. I'm go Monster Hunter.
Oh. That sounds like sometimes Pokédex entries have like weirdly dark
Yeah, they do.
things in them.
I feel like that is, I mean, that's just a bit too powerful, really. What if someone knocks one out in the wild and you just ended everything? That kind of sad.
Yeah, unless it's a legendary, I wonder. Ooh. Oh man, I'm gonna say Pokemon. Let's take a risk.
All right, yeah, man, you got it. It's Yveltal, legendary Pokemon.
Oh my god.
Oh no, is that the on the?
That's the Y Pokemon.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, Ree, get a hold of yourself. Come on.
Dang.
I don't know my monsters.
Dang.
That is OP.
Okay. It can charge itself with electricity from furious movements of its wings, tail, and crest.
That's definitely Monster Hunter, because I think that's one of the earlier world boss fights.
Nobody wants to guess it's Zapdos?
Oh, no!
It's Astalos.
Oh, okay.
Which is, you're right.
Yeah, I second-guessed myself for a second. I'm like, oh, what if it is?
All right, how about this one? Herbivorous deer-like, valued for their horns, they tend to run away at the first hint of danger.
I've got Pokemon vibes from that one.
Yeah, I think Pokemon sounds about right.
That is a Kelby. It's a monster hunter.
Oh, no.
Oh, whoops.
I blew it.
I don't know Kelby.
Sounds...
How about this one here? Let's see. It is so overwhelmingly powerful it can bring down a mountain to make its nest. It wanders about in the mountains seeking new opponents to fight.
That's got Pokédex vibes to it. Just one of those bonkers ones.
Yeah.
Is there any Pokemon that takes down a whole mountain to make a nest, though?
I feel like
could
some
be.
of them would do it if they felt like it.
Maybe it's a Monster Hunter. Or Monster. I'm going to say Monster Hunter.
It is a Pokemon. It's Tyranitar.
Oh, I got duped.
They're like fairly...
Duped again.
Fairly common as well, aren't they? So, Tyranitar.
Yeah, fairly.
Actually
Dunno.
a regular occurrence just in the Pokemon universe. A whole bloody mountain comes
Yeah,
down.
like Pokemon West Virginia must be not doing well. Much like the real West Virginia. Although it is a very picture of elegance and beauty while swimming, it is also cruel. When it spots prey, it inserts its thin mouth into the prey's body and drains it of its bodily fluids.
That's a whole thing.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, that's really morbid. I'm gonna go Pokédex. That's one of the weird ones.
I'm going to go Monster Hunter
Okay.
for this one, I think, again.
This is a Pokemon.
Hey.
This is Gorbis.
They don't do a lot of underwater sections in Monster Hunter anymore, I don't think.
Oh,
After
really?
the swimming
Okay.
controls in 3, people were like, please don't make us do that again.
Ah, gotcha. All right. How about this one? Thanks to its gargantuan jaws, which could shred thick metal plates as if they were paper, it was invincible in the ancient world it inhabited.
Monster Hunter? Maybe?
Yeah, I think Monster Hunter.
Come on, this is Pokemon's again.
what?
This is Tyrantrum. Tyrantrum,
No.
the T-Rex one.
Oof, I'm bad on my Pokemon history.
Okay, we got two more. Its rigid scales function as offense and defense. In the past, its scales were processed and used to make weapons and other commodities.
This could be Monster Hunter. You don't really have
I'm gonna-
weapon manufacturing in Pokemon, do you?
Yeah, maybe Monster Hunter.
This is a Pokemon. This is the dragon.
Stop these bait ones. I hate the bait ones. I don't know if it's...
If they weren't bait ones, this wouldn't be a game.
Yeah, but like,
All right,
I
last
don't know
one.
if it's like a bait one or a triple bait or a quadruple bait. I can never tell.
Is this a triple double bait? Yeah, it's hard to
They're
know.
going to have a crossover now. These are all so similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. An orange and green striped species of small carnivores found mainly in desert areas. They travel in packs, so their large fangs and claws contain a neurotoxin that can paralyze prey.
That's
I think that's Monster Hunter.
That's quite sciencey and not just bonkers. So yeah, probably Monster Hunter.
Yeah, that is a gen prey, I think. it's
Yeah. Yeah, those guys are cool.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Well, that was pretty good. For Josh, not for you.
I got
Ree.
3 entire points.
But-
I
on
blew
you
it in the
know.
second half there, but
Ah, okay. We've done worse in the past,
I
for
have
sure.
done much worse than that. I'm not sure that's something to be so proud of, but
Excellent. All right. Well, let's go ahead and close out. So, thank you. Did anyone make any of these games? Somebody did, right?
was Todd there at all? He must have.
Was Todd Howard involved in this process? Probably not, because this is Capcom. Have they done any crossovers with Capcom stuff? Was there a Devil May Cry in Skyrim or something like that?
I'm sure
ooh.
Todd has played a Monster Hunter before, so let's thank him for that.
You think so? I mean, how different really is it in Skyrim when you're hunting down those dragons?
Yeah, there you go. We
I
made
know
the
in
connection.
the Switch version, you can get the Master Sword and like the Hylian Shield.
Yeah, I love it. It looks so good in the game
Yeah.
and not gross.
Yeah, for real.
So yeah, you can find us at GameLuster.com and at YouTube.com/GameLuster. We have cool things there. Come check it out. You can find us on Twitter at GameBustersPod. And yeah, if you like are interested in us doing like a specific game or whatever, throw it out there. Whatever, we'll look at it. I'll definitely see it, and then I will assess. I guess just want to also remind everyone, like, if you are on like an Apple thing or like iTunes, if you could roll over to the App Store and give us a rating, like a good rating, that would be good. If you give us a bad rating, I'll be very sad.
You don't want that. You don't want us to be sad.
You don't want me to be sad. You know what happens when I get sad? I get very upset. I cry. Josh, do you want to throw out any plugs? I think you have some things to plug, actually, right?
I got a website. I sometimes write about games in like a longer form on jarsh.zone, which is the goofiest domain name I've ever purchased in my life. And
the Jarsh Zone, man.
There's only like a couple articles on there. I'm kind of sidetracked by classes and stuff right now, but I just write on occasion, and I like Castlevania a lot. So if anybody likes Castlevania,
that's true. I can confirm that.
I'm the last surviving fan of that franchise. So
hey, I legitimately think the only like one that I've put like any actual time into was Castlevania 64. Hilariously, which I've heard is notoriously the worst one.
It's so bad, and I love it so much.
Was that the one with a big skeleton?
Yeah, giant skeleton. There's skeletons on motorcycles. That's what my
scared me.
My Discord icon is from that game.
It's quite scared.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah. So I guess let's go ahead and go. So I guess the last word for the winner, we need some sort of incantation or phrase or something like that to break us out of this endless loop of grinding for more monsters. What do we need to say? Anyone have any ideas how we should get on this?
I do not know a single line from these games. Josh, you might need to help us.
Yeah.
Are there quotes? It doesn't really seem like there's a lot of things to quote.
Yeah, it's not the most quote-worthy franchise.
Wait, can I find a quote from the movie that maybe isn't the racist joke?
Yeah, let's see if we can find a good quote from the Monster Hunter movie.
We can do the PSP claw as we say it. Have you guys ever seen that?
Wait, no?
It's for Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, the camera is on the D-pad for the PSP, right above the analog stick. So you have to like put your hand in like a claw formation to like control the camera.
Oh fuck!
I think
that's very good.
I think I have a picture.
Yeah, I guess we can all do that on our own here. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to see it.
Yeah, here we go. It's so bad. My hand hurt real bad after playing that game.
Quotes. Oh God, we're gonna die here. That's not a good quote.
Ooh, perfect.
They're everywhere. I'm just on IMDb. I saw a dinosaur in a museum one time. It wasn't that big.
My character in Rise, every time you like harvest stuff from a defeated monster, she just gleefully goes carve, 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 and it freaks me out. I don't like it.
Okay, great. I'm gonna close this out on this good quote. As they see the monster rising out of the sand in front of them. This shit is officially above my pay grade.
That's like 2000 action movie shit. I love it.
Opening up your Wii U and seeing that a game was available for it was like Christmas.